The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Tuesday, October 7th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today. Before I start, I want to extend birthday greetings to my sister, Pansy. Her birthday is today. She's umpteenth years older than I am, so she's a big woman. I also want to extend birthday wishes to my childhood friend, Linda Edmond. She's 50. She's an old woman now. My God. I remember when she was young, but 50 years old. My God. I just want to say happy birthday to them. Today, I'm embattled because I want to know if I should talk Junkanoo. But I've been talking Junkanoo for weeks, man. Someone inboxed me and said, you're the only one who is dissecting what is happening to Junkanoo. And I said, no, I'm trying to be as fair as I can, because we as Bahamians tend to show our biasness. And I'm trying to enlighten Bahamians about Junkanoo, the Junkanoo fiasco. It's this show up, but I try to pull that back and say, no. Let's just talk facts and analyze the facts. Now, when I analyze the facts, if it come out against you, that it is what it is by just analyzing the facts, right? But I also want to talk about the headline, Bahamas, Philippines finalize agreement on movement of labor. I read that again. Bahamas, Philippines finalize agreement on the movement of labor. The reason why I want to start off with that, because if you want to talk about Junkanoo, you have to text me and say, Newry, talk about Junkanoo, because the JCNP wrote a 6-page letter to the government, or the Ministry of Culture, actually. One or two threats inside it, one or two enlightenment on this is where they stand, one or two pleading, please reconsider in that letter, right? If you want me to have Aaron read that entire thing, we could do that. But if I do that, we got to dissect it. But for that, you need to text in and say, Newry, do that. Because the theme today is about this movement of labor, right? Because the other day, yesterday in fact, I was going back and forth with Aaron and saying, no, we don't want mere mortali's freedom of movement of Caribbean people. That's not in the Bahamas, because we have a duty of care to protect the industries of the Bahamas for Bahamians. Now, when there is a shortage of labor, you could come here and assist us to build our country. But you just can't come here and say we plan to compete with Bahamians. And within 24 hours, you see Ministry of Foreign Affairs signing freedom of movement for a particular group. And I'm saying, what jobs they coming here for that we need to sign an agreement for? Because, and I got to call the group, Filipinos. I like Filipinos. They're beautiful people. So I'm not attacking them. I'm talking about this agreement, right? Because I remember when the ambassador for the Philippines, they had one other country, threatened to sue the Bahamas before, saying you're all trying to stop Filipinos from coming to the Bahamas to work. And we said, no. Right now we have a high, what is that? Unemployment now. So we have a stop on various jobs until Bahamians catch up. And they sue. They say, the hell with the Bahamas and their jobs. We need Filipinos to come to work. That's some time ago. But now I'm seeing this agreement and I'm trying to say, what jobs are they talking about? We have a shortage of a lot of technical jobs in the hospital. If it's that, man, when it's vacancy, we put an advertisement in and they can come. We don't need an agreement for that. But I see Filipinos on the farms. I see Filipinos. Where let's go buy my peppers from. That place in Foxhill. You go to a place in Foxhill, there, that prison. All the workers are Filipinos. I say, where the Haitians gone? I thought Haitians do this job. They have Filipino workers now replacing the Haitians. Like one set of group. First was Bahamians. Then was Haitians. Now they have Filipinos.
Right near the
prison. You just go, there's one right near the prison. You see all the workers is Filipino. And I say, wait, if Bahamians can't get a job, I know we have plenty of Haitians with documents who want this job. And I'm watching Filipino packing boys. I'm watching, and you think I jest when I say Filipino packing boys. I'm talking sense. You've
Now,
watching,
listen. Okay.
Go ahead.
See,
so I'm picking on them.
no, I know, because I know, but I just want to make this sort of distinction, right? Because we have people who we don't know the different ethnic groups in the Philippines, right? We just know
The Filipinos.
that's the nationality. No, see, that's nationality.
You think they have Bahamian-looking Filipinos?
There are people who are Bahamian citizens that descend, right? That immigrated
They
from
be
the
Bahamians.
Philippines, but they are Bahamians nationality.
And who speak Filipino?
No, these are people of Philippine descent.
No. I ain't talking
who
about the
speak
people of Filipino descent. See, I see y'all trying to manipulate. It's like this. If we have Haitian Bahamians or Haitians who have become citizens of the Bahamas, they Bahamians. I ain't gonna never call them Haitians.
Right, but this is what I'm saying.
I ain't talking about the Filipinos. I ain't talking about the Filipinos who have become Bahamians. I talk about Filipinos.
No, what I'm saying is, how do you know?
I nosy.
I mean, okay.
You don't think I was going to ask?
I mean, that is definitely
You
an
don't
anecdote.
think it's I ain't going to ask?
That's an anecdotal marker.
don't
When
think
you
I go-
say you nosy.
You know I going to ask, right?
But did you ask like the boy on the video yesterday in town?
I regard nobody.
No, I didn't ask. I said, did you ask like the boy?
Oh, what,
On
how,
the-
how the way ask on the video?
He didn't. He was like, you see them people there?
No, I was going to ask. What? How come you ain't have no Haitian labor here? Where these Filipinos come from? You think I ain't going to ask them that?
But didn't the person tell you, what did the person tell you?
They Filipinos, they Bahamians, they belong here. I said,
That's what the person told you,
yeah,
right?
And I said, no Bahamians or Haitians could get that job. We ain't want them.
He didn't say that, but they are Bahamians?
They said they have status. That's what his response.
Because citizenship could be status. I just say
I'm
status.
just saying we can have some problems in the future when they want to be packing boys. See, let me start over.
I know.
Hold on.
Hold
We can do that. We have time.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I can call Solomon's. Not because I disparage them.
Which number you use? Because the other number I can't get in.
No, they don't answer. I can call their name.
Oh, okay.
I call Solomon's because Solomon's used to hire special needs people. I'm not sure if you ever noticed. For
No,
packing boys.
absolutely. They created employment opportunities for people with either intellectual disabilities or other
Special needs.
impairments. Yeah.
It's cost right. I used pride. You know, when you're proud, I say, boy, I don't know if I could do that, but I'm proud that this agency is doing that. Also, Super Value, I can call their names. They used to hire Bahamians, black, white Bahamians, to be packing boys. That's their civic duty. They do these things.
Technically not hire, because to hire somebody you have to pay them and give them benefits, but they accept.
Yes.
They make space for,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Of late, now I'm moving away from those names I call.
Yeah.
I've noticed these food store entities have a number of, let me put it, people with status who speaks Creole. See, status. I ain't say whether they Bahamian or not. They have status.
Haitian Creole, though.
I don't know what they speak. They speak
Because
Creole.
there are other types of Creole. I just saying, let's make sure.
I don't speak Creole, so I don't know if it's Haitian Creole or it's Jamaican Creole or it's Bermuda Creole, but they speak in Creole. And I'm saying, wait, I thought these jobs were reserved for Bahamians, right? I want the packing boy to make some money.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
The barber service, barbers.
Yeah.
Is that a sector reserved for Bahamian?
I would assume, but my barber is Haitian. I haven't seen a Bahamian barber in decades.
I mean, I saw this beautiful video.
Yeah.
Wonderfully put together.
The Jamaican one?
The boy professional. See, I'm mad. It's a
Jamaican one?
Yeah, he professional. The space look nice, but I'm wondering, can you get a work permit
to be a barber?
to be a barber?
Clearly so. And we have a whole schools teach barbering, you know. So I'm not sure if they get into jobs. But let's just move from there. Let's go read this article now. All that Carl, can come to you now. So Carl, I hope you're ready. But you get the article ready. You get this article ready because it looks like we have freedom of movement of a particular set of people, not people.
Sometimes I just be talking off the top of my head, to find out.
And see, it's a particular set of people. What do we have one for the Jamaicans to come in, or the Bermudans to come in? Do we have any kind of special grouping?
Yeah, I thought. I
Like
mean,
who else? I know the Haitian. I mean, let's go to the Column. I just find it odd that you choose an ethnic group, a country, to say we can have an agreement with y'all when all of Bermuda want to come here.
Okay, now see, pause. Here's what the problem is. If it was immediately after the tragic tsunami Was that in the Philippines? Remember, I think
Yeah, that's for decades ago, though.
but this is what the point I'm making is if you had told me after that tragic event, because remember when I think is it the Philippine ambassador to the United
Yes.
States of America
Remember
in
that.
America, when asked about concerns of
The Belongo ship thing.
Philippine people in the Bahamas
Yeah.
immediately post the environmental disaster, this guy said, "Oh, the Bahamas is a U.S. territory, and so the Philippine people there should be fine." Right? That was years ago. So if you had told me that you were considering or you are in the process of creating a free movement of labor agreement with the Philippines post that environmental event, I could understand that, but I would also expect it to have a temporary nature, right?
Let's go to the caller and get that article ready.
Yes, sir.
No one's talking about junk news, so it looks like we ain't talking about junk news today. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Well,
You're live. I can hear you.
Fred, some kudos, you know.
I didn't hear anything they say. Start over.
You need to give Minister Mitchell some kudos.
Minister Mitchell, some kudos. Go ahead. Why?
Early in this month, I think it's on the table now. They gonna have the free movement in the Lower Caribbean region.
Yeah, Belize, Barbados, Dominica, and
All
Vincent,
Yeah, that's
St.
a done
Vincent,
deal.
and the
That's ready.
Grenadines.
That's ready for it.
Okay, you know, so Fred is kind of getting ahead of the game.
How?
Okay, government in the Caribbean, you know, it'll be a kind of death sentence for our Bahamian
What's the-
people.
Explain why.
Yeah.
Also, I can give you some leeway.
And then the difference between the
Okay,
impacts of
okay.
an agreement with the
Okay,
Caribbean.
okay.
Hold on, let me,
Ah,
sir. Okay, sir. Why you think it's a problem for the Bahamas to sign a freedom of movement agreement with any country in the Caribbean, and the difference between signing it with a country in the Caribbean and signing it with the Philippines?
Okay, our perception here is that we have a lifestyle, right? And if the person's down south, if they can go to America, if they can, we are the second choice.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as far as the technical side and labor is concerned, you check our medical culture. Most of the technicians, a huge percentage of the doctors, all the lab folk, X-ray people, all of them come from the Philippines. Okay, now we haven't educated our people enough to fulfill these kind of very basic things. You know, I mean, like on the parking boy thing, right? 80% of the guys parking in all the food stores are location maintenance. 80% or more. You know, we have a very fundamental problem in terms of how we address our labor shortage in this country. And if we don't address that, I think 10 years at most, 15 years at most, we're going to see a change. I mean, we already see the change now, but it's going to be more definite in the years ahead.
Thank you. But another question: why should we be concerned about movement of labor from Caribbean region and not concerned about freedom of or movement of labor from the Philippines? What's the difference in your mind?
Well, I think it's more a move. But anytime,
Oh, I know, but you told Newry that he should give Mr. Mitchell kudos.
Yes.
Is it giving him kudos for finalizing the movement of labor agreement with the Philippines? And why should we celebrate that? But we should
Instead of-
denounce any type of freedom of movement of labor.
instead of having to deal with multiple cultures coming in, we have to deal just with one. Basically. Okay?
I appreciate you, caller. Breathe. Aaron.
No, that requires a moment of silence.
Yeah, but I need you to breathe.
That's okay. I was going to breathe too hard. I needed to.
Let's read the article because I want to the Bahamian people who haven't seen the article to appreciate what is happening, like what it encompasses. Is it for medical people only? 'Cause like I said, if you go to Fox Hill, a lot of Filipinos there, right? Educated Filipinos. They planting pepper.
Remember when I broke my foot in July, top of the summer? Ruined my whole hot girl summer is when you take 3 showers a day, by the way. I sat in a clinic for an hour and 40 minutes and nobody asked. After I told them I want an x-ray because I think I broke my foot, nobody asked me what my pain level is or if I wanted to elevate my foot. Yeah. I just say. So here's the article in today's Guardian. The story starts on the front page, but you need the business section to continue reading. Here we go. The Bahamas and the Republic of the Philippines signed a memorandum of agreement on labor cooperation last month. That deals with the movement of labor between the two countries and the protection of workers' rights, a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs explained.
Can you pause there and explain what you mean by between the two countries, what that means?
Well, that's cool. It's like bilateral. It's only.
Is there a demand for Bahamians to go to the Philippines to work?
Oh, is it reciprocal? Is what you mean?
You
Like
said
the movement is kind of reciprocal?
Go ahead.
The statement adds that the MOA was signed by Affairs Fred Mitchell and Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers of the Philippines Hans Leo Cakdak at the Philippine Center in New York. So you're right. The question that you're asking is, does this agreement create the equal terms and opportunities for Bahamians to go to the Philippines and work? According to the MOFA, that's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the MOA framework enhances collaboration between the two countries in the areas of labor mobility, workers' rights protection, recruitment, governance, skills development, and mutual best practices in labor administration. Quote, the MOA commits to strengthen cooperation to promote safe, orderly, and fair labor mobility between the two countries, with particular focus on safeguarding migrant workers, improving working conditions, and supporting skills development that matches market needs in both economies.
See?
How many people in the Philippines?
Millions. When we Google the population?
Yeah, but you know what I know they don't have in the Philippines?
What do they have in the Philippines?
Chick-Chani catchers. You want to come wake with me?
I know the reason why they have no Chick-Chani catchers.
So you're going to tell the people I've been in there for years waking without a wake permission?
I can tell you
don't
why.
Say it out loud.
I can tell you why they don't have no Chick-Chani catches in the Philippines.
Because they ain't got no Chick-Chani.
They don't have no Chick-Chani. I'm trying to see.
Why who told you that?
Because Chick-Chanis.
Because I know you wasn't in the Philippines waking without permission. I know you wasn't waking in an unauthorized
there
sector.
are opportunities for Bahamians and that they're regulating all of these things for Bahamians to go there to work. I don't know any Bahamians in Philippines, but I'm not saying that there aren't any opportunities. But someone owes me a duty of care to explain what the opportunities are so I can say, okay, I see where this is going. And I just don't see where this is going.
I'm almost certain that somebody may have a statutory obligation to tell us before they sign the paper.
They sign it and didn't tell us that. They don't plan to tell us nothing. And we're going to accept it. We're going to accept it.
Quote, there we go.
And why they couldn't come to the Bahamas to sign an agreement?
Oh, he went to the Philippines?
He went to New York. If you go to New York, Philippines, I might even understand, empathize. Say, okay, no problem. The problem is, the foreigners, want benefit by coming to the Bahamas to work, and you trying to say they come to the Bahamas to say, man, let me see this Bahamas. Has he ever been to the Bahamas? Does he know where Broome Street is? Why are we always making accommodating?
Does he know how to spell Broome Street?
Why are we always accommodating others? I want to see exactly what type of jobs and this training thing.
If I have to pay for you to come here or for me to go there, which one you think I could do?
Especially when it benefits your countrymen. And not don't benefit my countrymen. Let's go to the caller and finish read this article because, like I said, I'm vexing. This is where you can't start calling people to resign and saying, "Hey, don't vote for him no more because I want someone who's give me cake." That's when you start saying things like that to make sure you get their attention. I don't approve. You need to do better. Explain this to me. The person who gave no cake seems to see. I want a hot dog. Anyway, let's just go to the caller. Go ahead, caller. I'm breathing in. Guardian Radio AM. This is
How you
CA
doing,
Newry.
CA?
I'm a little flustered.
Miss Gray and yourself.
Good day, sir.
Okay. Yes, I'm just wondering, personally, so when we sign these for free movement of labor, what does that entail? Does it no longer require a permit or a visa, or, just what processes are we eliminating? Why are we making it easier? I just wanted to know. And also, with the Philippines, I'm curious because this nationality of persons have replaced pretty much all of the domestic work in the gated community now. The ones that grandmothers and those took care of the household on back in the day. Bahamians are hardly in those gated communities now. They've been all replaced by the Filipinos, and I'm just wondering who pushed for this and what is the ethos behind this, because I know they were complaining for years about being able to bring their help, and then the hassle they were getting and the pushback they were getting from bringing their workers over. So this is just kind of curious here.
Well, let me read for you from this article, 4 CARICOM countries to launch full free movement. This was in the Belize media. In fact, this is the Belizean government, the government of Belize's publication. It says Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines will implement full free movement of CARICOM nationals among the 4 countries effective Wednesday. Now, mind you, our article says movement of labor and not full free movement, right? Bang.
Right.
They say stay at entry. Nationals of the 4 participating member states will receive a stamp or digital record of indefinite stay upon arrival. So we can presume that when they come, that there will be a stamp, right? Indicating the length of the stay, right? As they say, in those states, they'll receive a stamp or digital record. I imagine the first thing that can happen is upon entry into the country, there will be a stamp or a digital record of the amount of time you are authorized to stay. They go on to say registration systems have been established to allow for registration of incoming nationals, enabling access to services such as education and healthcare. Let's put a pause there. So we can imagine that there will be a registration system. So you can't just come in and, with no visa, on a tourist visa. You have to come in as a laborer and you have to be registered. I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen, right? Now,
I would think you say you can't come as a tourist, but that doesn't. I'm sure they're not making it more difficult in any other area, but just easing the facilitation in the one area.
Yeah, but go on.
Follow what I'm saying. You said you can't come in as a tourist, but they're here now in their droves, and so it can't be that difficult. They're already here.
Now, okay. Early in the conversation, I referenced the tsunami in the Philippines, right? And when the Philippine ambassador to the U.S. or the U.S., I think it was, and responded to a question in the United States as to the status of Philippine migrants in the Bahamas post that environmental disaster, that individual referenced the Bahamas as like a territory, as a part of the U.S. federal system. He made a mistake, right?
Yeah.
He made a mistake. It's possible that some sort of resettlement or displacement agreement was in place where we signed on to accommodate a number of migrants immediately post the storm. That's possible that happened, right? But the question arises, like you say, is this restricted to just the movement of labor, unlike the recent CARICOM decision for full free movement on October 1st between 4 countries? And what are the terms, right? What are the rules? What is required of these migrants entering the country? And these are reasonable questions.
Yes. Ms. Green, I only see this really, to be honest with you, the bottom line as the moneyed people having their way, because I know this is something that, benefits them more than anybody else right now.
Well, here's an opportunity for Bahamians, though. Here's an opportunity for Bahamians, right? And it's multi-layered. We obviously, if we say, and anecdotally, people have said on the show right now, we see Philippine laborers, migrants, working predominantly or significantly in the healthcare sector. Why are Bahamians not opening schools to provide, or figuring out how to provide this training locally? Why lobbied the government or created an agency or partnered with the HBCU, partner with the HBCU, that's the Historically Black Colleges and Universities network, to direct or divert Bahamian students to these training programs in the States?
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Colin.
Thank you.
Okay. I want you to read that article.
Continue reading.
Yes, because in the main, I don't think Bahamians are concerned about Filipinos' healthcare workers. They give them a blight. They are concerned about the other areas because we assume they're in the healthcare area, but now they are permeating the Bahamas to getting gardener jobs, getting housekeeping jobs,
landscaping.
What do people who fix the elevator jobs? What do people who do the spray to kill the rats and the rodents and whatever? They're moving into other areas. But I thought this was Bahamian oriented, and the people who have power,
or these sectors were restricted or limited to Bahamian citizens only.
Yes. So I want to know the details on which areas will this impact.
Yeah, which employment sectors are accessible by Philippine migrants?
Yeah, not Bahamians. Like I say, I ain't talking about Bahamians.
Bahamians of Philippine ancestry.
We ain't talking about them.
Yeah.
So
or
when
descent.
I say we're talking about Filipinos who coming into the country to work doing what, and why we need to sign an agreement. Because if the hospital is short, the hospital doesn't have to go through Minister of Foreign Affairs to say let's form an agreement.
And if it were climate change related, if it were related to that environmental disaster years ago, surely the Prime Minister would have been on top of it.
Yes. So this is something separate.
Okay, so
someone is demanding that there's more access. No, read the article first. More access to Filipinos. Go ahead.
So we continue reading from the article, The Bahamas, Philippines finalize agreement on movement of labor in today's Nassau Guardian. Quote, the MOA commits to strengthen, and I think the MOA is the Memorandum of Agreement, commits to strengthened cooperation to promote safe, orderly, and fair labor mobility between the two countries, with particular focus on safeguarding migrant workers, improving working conditions, and supporting skills development that matches market needs in both economies. Close quotes, the statement explained. The initiative was introduced during diplomatic engagements in March 2023 when Ambassador Jose Manuel G. Romualdez met with former Governor General Cornelius A. Smith. In 2023, the Philippines made it known to the Bahamas that it was interested in entering into a labor agreement to ensure the well-being and protection of Filipino workers in this country. It's the Philippine government that raised the issue.
See? So, can we anticipate that Jamaicans will do the same thing? Will Bajans do the same? Haiti do the same thing?
They could do the same thing. The question is, can we anticipate approval for these other sectors? And can you anticipate my reason why I suggested we won't? Let me go back to the article. In 2023, the Philippines made it known to the Bahamas that it was interested in entering into a labor agreement to ensure the well-being and protection of Filipino workers in this country. A 2023 article in the Manila Times on the matter explained that some 2,000 Filipinos work in the Bahamas in areas such as healthcare, household services, hospitality, accounting, education, and ship repair. So here's my thing. Household services? Mm-hmm. First of all,
I don't even know how to get access to that.
what is household services?
That's everything inside the house. That's from butlers, that's housekeeping, that's from gardening.
Is that insect repellent? Is that animal control?
All that. If you have a pet and you want someone to walk your dog.
I just need somebody from the Department of Labor to tell me what household services is defined as technically.
I want to know how the people who hire them make it known that there's space and they circumvent Bahamians It should be a limited group. Like you can't get a work unemployed waiting for a housekeeping job.
Like if you say to me,
Gardener job.
if you say to me, hey, look, my wife is from the Philippines.
I can appreciate that.
Our children, right, are going to be raised in both cultures.
I can appreciate
we
that.
want them to experience them equally. We would like to bring a Philippine
I can
caretaker
appreciate
in
that.
to ensure that they can have both English and the indigenous language the Filipino people speak as their primary languages.
If you're an expat and your children speak Spanish, I could even say, make a blind and say, okay, some Filipinos speak Spanish. Let the Filipino come in. But if it isn't that,
Let's continue reading.
and especially why are we making exceptions for a particular grouping of people? No other country?
with no reference to see, because if you talked about the environmental disaster that they
We
experienced,
stopped talking about that. Man, that's years ago.
the point is, if you were then
They ain't talking about that.
okay, let's continue with the article, a 2023 article.
Caller, we coming to you now. Bear with us.
The article also explained that Philippine ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Romualdez, we go to page 3, met with the Prime Minister Davis in Nassau, quote, to discuss issues of mutual concern, such as climate change and disaster mitigation, close quotes. The article further states that Romualdez revealed in a statement that he and Davis discussed a possible memorandum of understanding, that's an MOU, not MOA, an MOU that would add a layer of protection for Filipino workers. What do you mean a layer of protection?
just gonna ask you what it
like
means.
more layers than the other migrant workers have in the country?
And people are not analyzing that, right? They're trying to get, mind you, our government protect all workers. Straight across the board, all workers are protected by government.
Let's make this point. Let me make this point right here. Interacting with the Filipino community through the vendor space, like with Food Fest and the various festivals. Let me tell you something. There's no group of people, like of all the groups of people you want
Very
in your
organized.
country, not just organized, just warm and gracious
We're not
and
dispelling
kind.
that.
Yeah, that's why I want the audience to understand that we're not disparaging this group of people at all. These are beautiful, warm people, man.
And as a rule, Bahamians like Filipinos. We like their food because they do Chinese food now. This place is the Chinese. They do their own Chinese food.
They do their own Asian
They
style
say Chinese
food.
they call it Chinese food. They don't say Filipino food. They say Chinese food. It just happen to be Filipinos. Like that one downtown. You see that one downtown through that corner?
And from it named grill, you know Bahamians love it.
Yeah. And they say call it Chinese food. They don't say Filipino food.
Because you could
But the lady there is Filipino.
you could grill it and I can call it jig, whether it's jig or not.
Let's go to the caller here. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Yes, good morning to both of you, Scal and Johnson.
Morning.
Let me first say that you have to understand the Philippines actually is an export. It's a labor export. Yes.
Okay.
But not a separate contract with the government.
But not forced to do so through decades of economic hardship.
No. What they have is they basically found a niche in bringing a specialty more so for that team. Home services, maids, butlers, that type of services, and medical. So what they've done is they've developed what is called a skills-based part of the economy, so a skills-based economy, where they train and prepare people for such. But the thing I want to speak about is us, right? This is something I've been asking for 20 years, the gap analysis of our labor market, where we are and what is it we need. Every single year we hear government and other people announcing all of these training programs. No one can tell you what they're training for. No one can tell you what the jobs they're going to be placed with. No one can tell you the skill that is needed for these particular jobs. They say we don't possess certain skills. No one can give you a list of the job definitions and where the skills deficiency are. So it seems as that we are eloquently, again, good at describing our problem and very weak on actually having a strategy or an actual implementable plan on resolving these things. So unless you have an analysis of where we are and where we need to be, all these different industries we say we have, all the different industries we say we want to start, but no one, what is it you need? You say we want a knowledge-based economy. Can someone tell me exactly what is a knowledge-based economy from a policy position? What is the number of workers we have in it? What is the number of workers we need in it? What is the skill set that will be needed for it? The same thing with the green economy. With the blue economy, the same thing with the orange economy, the same thing with the creative economy. Yes, they say they're one and the same. They're very similar, but they're not the same. And so it's good that we talk about these things. It's good we talk about the deficiencies in our education system. But no one actually has came up with an actual plan. A plan is not a vision or a strategy. A plan brings key performance indicators, exactly what it is, but you must know where you're starting to be able to define a map, where you're going to go and how to get there. So we're going to keep talking. Hopefully in 5 years, my 67th birthday, we won't be having this conversation again.
We'll be having
the
it.
next administration.
And just be more Filipinos here. But thanks very much, C. Allen.
Right.
Thanks. We finished with the article?
No, see, Alan, want me to give him another job. See, Alan, we need to build institutions. You know, like this is what it is. We have the knowledge. We have access to other systems to understand how things are working, but we're missing some of the building blocks and things like institutions, agencies, mechanisms that hold information, test it, ensure its integrity, and share it with other people so that they can also begin building their programs. But thank you very much for the contribution, C. Allen.
Finish read the article and then we go
Okay.
to the caller afterwards. Caller, I see you. Just bear with us. We can prep it for you.
The article further states that Romualdez revealed in a statement that he and Davis discussed a possible MOU. Yesterday's MOA statement, that's the Memorandum of Agreement, said CACDAC met with the Minister of Labor and the Public Service Pierre Glover role in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in January of this year, furthering the diplomatic relations on labor. Quote, this MOA...
We short labor. Eh? Of course we short labor.
I mean, they don't call it a labor shortage for nothing.
Yeah. But people making deals with Pacific governments, but and when we have other group... Anyway, go ahead.
See, because for me, you have to... Right, I know you just get BTVI accredited and you're moving forward on a couple of things, but before you can, see, you could provide a greater layer of protection for migrant workers without creating an MOA with one specific country.
That's how I see it.
Right, and I don't think it's unreasonable to say that you should show me that you have run for at least 10 years an academic program to attract young to years, but over the last 10 years, Bahamians refuse to take advantage of the program, and now you're bringing in a specific subset. But you have not put sufficient effort into creating a local human resource inventory.
It's not even 1 year deep yet. It's a matter of months they making expanding BTVI. Months, right? We ain't get it right yet. But other people coming and taking jobs. It's just odd. Finish read. Oh, the caller gone? Okay, finish read the article.
Quote, this MOA reinforces our shared commitment to protecting workers while expanding legitimate labor mobility between our nations, the MOFA statement said. Quote, the Bahamas and the Philippines formally established diplomatic ties in 1976, marking a long-standing history based on mutual respect and cordiality, close quotes, that's friendliness. The MOFA added, quote, the MOA is the 7th bilateral agreement signed this year by the Department of Migrant Workers of the Philippines and the first in the Caribbean and Central America. Let's make another point right here, Mr. Newry. Call, I see you quickly. You know the reference earlier in the article when they said the Prime Minister, CACDAC, the leader of the Philippines, quote, to discuss issues of mutual concern such as climate change and disaster mitigation. And then you go on to read that this is a 7th agreement of this nature that the Philippines has signed, but the first in the Caribbean and Central America. Dear Bahamian government, what are you doing to ensure that you can easily resettle Bahamians in other countries, right, where they will be accepted when the same thing that's happening to the Philippines continues to happen to us?
You notice the rest of the Caribbean ain't signing it? Maybe a reason. Let's go to the caller first before Paul being calling back and forth. I wonder why the rest of the Caribbean say, man, we ain't, not right now.
No, we don't know.
don't know.
Maybe they are, and Mr. Mitchell didn't feel it necessary
to
mention it.
So this is why we put pause. Let's find out if any other Caribbean doing this. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Yes, Ms. Green had mentioned BTVI, but there was a time when we had, the vocational training college, which went a little further than BTVI. There was a time when we had the Dundas Civic Center that was in place to train Bahamians. We also had the tourism college where people attend from all over the world. So Bahamians have to be very careful because it seems to me that we have regressed in that regard, and our government empowering Bahamians. It seems they're going in the other direction now into disenfranchising Bahamians, because instead of them looking to enhance what they say, well, let's just fulfill it by bringing in foreigners. That's how it seems to me. It's the same thing with food, agriculture. It's cheaper to bring it in.
Uncle.
And Bahamians seem to be very much replaceable in that regard.
Uncle,
Thank you.
if I had suggested to the Bahamian public, if I were a policymaker and I suggested to the Bahamian public, listen, we gonna put this policy in place, right? The people are gonna apply for a work permit, and if we don't complete it, if we don't give them an answer in 15 days, they automatically just gonna get the work permit. Y'all would have taken me to Rawson Square and you would have beat me.
That was for white people.
So then you say, Aaron, you think you could just be on the radio cracking jokes and then go into the House Assembly and do foolishness?
That was for white people, though.
Exactly. Sorry. Pardon me. That was perhaps the point that I was making, sir.
That was for white people.
I said that for white people too,
Yes.
like that,
Yes,
very
for
politely.
white
So yesterday when I said that we already have movement of labor,
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about the Philippines. I can be honest with you.
You were talking about white people.
I was talking about people, phenotypically white people,
Yeah, white people.
of European descent,
White
people who
people.
are perceived to be from the north.
White people. You were talking about white people.
Yeah,
Foreigners. Not Conky Joe people.
yeah.
You're talking about white people.
I know somebody came here. They're doing good work, Like generally, overall, the project that they were engaged in was an awesome project,
Yeah.
and it had great value and benefit for the Bahamas, But that person was here for years, just living,
No work permit.
and no work permit, just working
Making
and
thousands of dollars.
catching under the
Living their best
table,
life.
having a good time. I don't know if it's their best life, but they were having a good time.
You going to England? How those apartments and houses look?
Small.
Small, and
Tiny.
come to the Bahamas and they get an expat spotlight. The best life ever.
Like you see Village Road, sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right? They some of the fanciest sidewalks in New Providence, right? Bahamians don't use them. You know who use them?
Who use them?
Migrants.
Yeah. Expats though.
You know what they do? They walk from their home to the beach, which is just, they get out their front door and they say, hold on, I could smell the ocean from where I'm living. And they use those sidewalks to walk to the beach.
Let me say this. I welcome foreign labor because we have a shortage. I understand that. I appreciate that. Any kind of specialized skills you could bring to the Bahamas, I will make space. I will encourage the government to make space. However, there seems to be a movement of people who are taking Bahamian jobs. And not big-time jobs, the low-end jobs that Bahamians can do, especially in the climate where the Bahamas government saying, we're doing apprenticeship programs now to make sure Bahamians get employed, but we're bringing in foreigners to have that job. We're doing technical skill program to make sure Bahamians are able to have jobs, but we're bringing in foreigners to take these jobs at the same time.
I think not only is there an ideological issue, right, but there is an operational issue. Understand what is required to mobilize an industry, right? To say, okay, last year, top of this year, the United States told us we can no longer use the Cuban medical brigade, right?
Yeah.
It's a formal labor system. But we knew this. We knew that we were going to have issues within the U.S. We knew that eventually, this would be pinpointed as an issue that we would have to deal with by the U.S., right?
Yes.
What have we been doing to prepare? And don't tell me, say, we've been training nurses. That's not what we mean. You're supposed to train nurses all the time. What are you doing to make the salary, the remuneration package, the wages? What are you doing to make working and living in the Bahamas as attractive as it is to go work and live in other countries? And don't say it's impossible, because foreigners come from the north here every day, every year. And some of them do. Some of them we accept because they accept us and show us. Like our friend Anne, the teacher who passed away, rest in peace, Anne.
She's Bahamian though. Now, I mean, she's
Right, but when she came as a teacher, she was a foreigner, and she said, "Hey, I love this place, and I love these people, and I fall in love with one of these people, and she make more of these people." We don't have a problem with people who come here to love the place.
We have a couple more minutes.
But I think the issue really is with the government who does not understand what its function is.
And making deals when you're trying to ask how does Bahamian benefit and they don't provide any information on it. It seems one-sided.
Which is just one element of it, because you making deals without engaging the Bahamian people.
Don't care.
You making deals without actually showing the people that
Don't
you
care.
tried an alternate before.
Don't care. No one care to explain what's happening. It just is an announcement. You take it or you lump it.
And it's a disservice to the Philippine community in the Bahamas. You're doing them a disservice.
Then in the characterization, they said we're trying to make sure that the Filipinos' lives are better in terms of we have a law for that already.
Yeah. And
You
it
know?
should apply to
It
everybody.
should apply for. So I'm concerned whether that law would apply to everybody is inadequate, and that the Philippines getting a special law is inadequate. I am concerned.
And will the authorities who are responsible for enforcing the law have this misconception that some migrants are more important than other that's
Animal farm again. We all equal, but some people are more equal than others.
But one thing you can't tell me is no farms out west.
Yeah, there's farms up there, and Filipinos working in them.
Last text, it seems like the real government of the Bahamas who live behind those gates, I don't know, this text was coming, are dictating their wants. One thing for sure, they don't want any dark-skinned people in their houses. I know plenty Bahamians. I know plenty dark-skinned people who don't want dark-skinned people in their houses. If people could only get away with in your country, would you allow them to get away with
When I get
in
rich
your
like these
country?
politicians, I want a Filipino maid. Back in the days, I wanted a Cuban maid, but I moved from that. I want a Filipino maid too, and a gardener.
I just want a job where I could afford a maid. I don't know if I can get one.
Yeah.
But to have a job where I could afford a maid,
One of these days.
life.
But someone making ways to make sure that when I get my money right, I can get my Filipino maid easy.
There you go.
Right? I ain't got to hire no Bahamian no more. It is what it is. This has been Guardian Radio AM. This is C.A. Newry. Of course, Aaron Green
Oh.
was joined. Go ahead.
Remember our cousin, Miss Burrows?
Yeah, Miss Morris.
So I taken the $50. We're going to give it to the Ranfully home.
Okay. Did you tell people who Miss Morris is?
One of our listeners, one of our most favorite listeners. She's a big fan and she's a community stakeholder.
Yes, yes.
Her presence, you may not know it's her, but her presence is felt by many every day.
Miss Brown
you
knows.
feel her.
Miss Brown borrows. Her people are from Bimini originally.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.